Hey everyone, it's Pastor Jonathan. I hope you're having a good day. I especially hope that if you're not having a good day that you would reach out and tell me so I can send a little bit of extra love your way. This morning I want to share with you a passage of scripture that's one of my favorite stories. It's found in Matthew chapter 14, beginning with verse 22 and going all the way through verse 32. So hear the word of the Lord this morning. Immediately he made his disciples get into the boat and go on ahead to the other side while he dismissed the crowds. After he had dismissed the crowds, he went up on the mountain by himself to pray. When evening came, he was there all alone. But by this time the boat, battered by the waves, was far from the land, for the wind was against them. And early in the morning he came walking toward them on the sea. But when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were terrified, saying, "It's a ghost!" And they cried out in fear. But immediately Jesus spoke to them and said, "Take heart, it is I. Don't be afraid." And Peter answered him, "Lord, if it's you, command me to come to you on the water." And he said, "Come." So Peter got out of the boat, started walking on the water, and came toward Jesus. But when he noticed the strong wind, he became frightened, and beginning to sink, he cried out, "Lord, save me!" Jesus immediately reached out his hand and caught him, saying to him, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" And when they got into the boat, the wind ceased, and those in the boat worshipped him, saying, "Truly you are the Son of God." Friends, as the days begin to pile up, social distancing has its way of becoming more and more of a challenge. For those of us who live with families, we may begin to start wishing that we didn't live with family. And for those of us who live alone, well, this time may feel especially lonely and isolating. On top of that, the typical stresses of life don't seem to slow down during all of this. We still have bills to pay. We still have to worry about taking care of ourselves or the people around us. Life isn't slowing down. It's chaotic. And so I wonder, do you have moments? Are you living in the stress and anxiety of it all? Do you feel battered by wave after wave of stress and anxiety, fear, anger, frustration, and grief? If that's your case this morning, then I want to point you to Jesus in our story. Because the disciples are in the same boat, quite literally, in the middle of a raging sea as the waves are bashing against the boat again and again. And Jesus walks out to them, hovering above it all, walking amidst the swirling sea. And he says to them, he says, "Take courage. It is I. Don't be afraid." And the phrase there, "it is I," has multiple translations from its original Greek, but my favorite two are, "I exist and I am present." I exist and I am present. And that means so much in this moment because Jesus hasn't gotten in the boat yet. Jesus hasn't gotten in and says, "Here I am, I exist, I'm present right here in the boat with you." Jesus is still standing in the midst of an angry sea, and he says, "Look, don't be afraid. I'm right here. I exist. I'm present in the midst of everything troubling you right now. Take courage." Powerful stuff for us to remember during this time of fear and uncertainty as the world around us seems to be sinking into panic. The people of God have this peace and this hope that we get to tap into that allows us to hover above the surface of the chaos in our lives. Thanks be to God. Today, and I want to give you a practice to help you to tap into that same kind of peace. And it's simply a breath prayer. If you've never heard of a breath prayer, it's a simple, short prayer that you can say in a breath. That's the whole point of it. You can take it with you throughout your day, and it really is a difference maker. in whatever situation you find yourself in. It's just a word or a couple phrases, short, simple, asking God to be near or to be present or be at work in whatever situation you're in. So I invite you to make one of your own. I'll give you an example. The one I take with me typically is simply, I breathe in and say, Holy God, Holy God. And when I breathe out, I say, be near, be near. And that's as simple as that. Holy God, be near. And in every moment, I'm reoriented towards God and Jesus in that moment. Let me know what your breath prayer is. I'd love to hear about it. Drop it down in the comments below. Once again, if you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out. You are loved, you are prayed for, and you are missed so dearly. May the peace of Christ dwell with all of you.